So you probably heard that Israel's committing genocide. Crazy things like an apartheid state. And because you're young and you're innocent, you believe it because it looks like people that are saying this is true. Now, I actually live here in Israel, and I've actually lived in South Africa. So first of all, apartheid was a segregation of Arabs and Jews. Now, my doctors, half of them are Arabs. Not only are they Arabs, but their education was provided for by the Jewish country. Not only was it provided, just like in America, there's affirmative action and black people have more access to education than white people. So Arabs have better access. They give them more free dormitory. They don't have to go to the military. That's why half the doctors here are Arabs. If that sounds like apartheid to you, now it's very important to understand this. If what I'm saying is true, which it is true, you can come into any hospital in Israel and see it. It means everything that you've heard about Israel is a lie. You've been lied to. And the reason you've been lied to is for thousands of years, a lot of the world has been miserable. A lot of people still today are miserable. When they asked one of the greatest psychologists in history, what is the nature of anti-Semitism? Why would anyone hate a Jew? They actually had this thing, they asked the Japanese, if you had to hate someone, now the Japanese have nothing to do with the Jews, who would it be? It would be the Jews. Why? Because people that are miserable hate people that are not miserable. And in order to not be miserable, you really need just one thing. You need love. You need to have been brought up with people that love you and give you space to be yourself. A lot of people are brought up with parents that just want the child to shine for their sake, not for their child's sake. And so that's number one. Everything you've heard about Israel, if it's been negative, it's a lie. Second of all, is Israel committing genocide? Now, that is the most sick argument because it's the very people that wish to commit genocide. The Arabs tried to, literally, they said this, you go to every single fact check this, 48, literally they killed Jews all over, Jews living in Arab countries for a long time. It's all about Islam, and that's what people don't understand. This is not a land that had an ancient people called Palestinians. Again, you can fact check this. If you fact check, when were the ancient Philistines, Palestinians, they disappeared 2,500 years ago. The only ancient people in Israel are the Jews. Actually, there's some Samaritans, and we're also here from 2,500 years. That's it. The Jews, a very small amount of Samaritans, those are the only ancient people here in Israel. So what's going on? How did this people get invented? Now, in order to understand that, you have to understand there's something called Russian disinformation. Go to Ian Pacipa, look it up. Top Soviet general that ever defected to the West, the head of the KGB. In fact, he trained the current PA leader. He got a quote-unquote Holocaust denial degree in Russia. Russia was an evil, still is to some extent, an evil force that just wants to get rid of the West, get rid of Israel. To some extent, Putin, to his credit, has changed and become good towards the Jews. I mean, Russia killed 3 of my great-grandparents. They killed one of their leaders. Stalin killed 26 million people. Now they say maybe it's like 50 million people. One sick person killed almost as many people as Hitler killed, which was 2 world wars. I mean, in a world war of the whole world. You have to understand how sick these people are. And so people that want to kill you don't mind lying to you. They don't mind brainwashing. They don't mind telling you anything just to get their diabolical plan across. So they came up with this new way. Arabs clearly said, we want to just kill the Jews because they have this ancient hatred. They have this jealousy of the Jews because Yishmael was kicked out of the house when he was a boy. The Arabs just hate the Jews. In fact, they did a video with a former Arab terrorist saying, we apologize for anything we did wrong. And he cried. Why? Because they have this deep shame. And that shame, as the KGB agent to train Arafat, they said an ancestral hate towards the Jewish people. If you look at the Quran, which was written by an Arab, it's full of kill the Jew, kill the Jew, kill the Christian, kill, kill, kill. And that's their mentality. That's what they do to each other. We see this in the Arab Spring, kill, kill, kill. So in simple words, is there a genocide going on? Yes, there's a genocide going on. It's a genocide that the Arabs want to kill the Jews. That's the genocide. That's what happened in Hamas. If it was up to these terrorists, none of you watching this video, would be raped, would be tortured, would be beheaded. Exactly what they did to the Jews, that's what they want to do to you. And if you think, Churchill said, an appeaser is one who feeds the crocodile hoping it will eat it last. If you think that you can feed these people, there are people that said, let's get along with Hitler, even Chamberlain in England, they made a peace treaty, then Hitler was a person that liked killing people. He hated people. He hated himself. He killed himself in the end. His life was about murder, about torturing people. He was a sadist. That's the thing that he wanted. Sadists have to be killed now. And the only solution to this problem is that Israel right now, America really should be doing it to protect Americans, but it won't. But Israel right now should wipe out all the terrorists, whether it's in Syria, whether it's in Iran, whether it's in Libya, whether it's in wherever these bastards are. Right now, as we speak, they're raping people. They're evil, 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 evil people. So did Israel ever create a genocide? Now, last summary of how can this be, like people speak about this as a war, as a conflict. That's like me coming up to you and I stab you and you say, ouch, what are you doing? Stop it. And then the media reports there's a conflict between two people. That's what's been going on. The Arabs have been trying to kill Jews for thousands of years, and they were going on and on and on. There's no difference. And then you have the audacity to call the Jewish people genocide? You're out of your mind. Or you're evil. Or most likely, you're stupid. You're naive. You don't know the difference between truth and falsehood. You've been brainwashed. And therefore, I'm asking you to fact check. If you want to know if you literally have been fed a whole bunch of lies or are fed the truth, fact check everything that I said. If what I said was wrong, I'm ready to send you $100. No problem. And if what I said is true, I want you to do one thing. I want you to say right on the comments, I made a mistake, and from now on, I support the supporters of life, and I hate and I despise the supporters of death. Because until you do that, it says that a person that is merciful to evil becomes evil to the merciful. Why? Because what's your motivation for not going against them, not putting out a video like this? Your motivation is fear. You're afraid. And therefore you think if I give in to them, they will actually let me live. But no, they'll let you live as long as you become like them, a murderer, and even then they'll kill you. And that's the fact. Who did Hamas first kill? All those people that were supporting them, because they are pure evil. And you are good. You are a person that has a heart, has a soul, that wants to do right, and therefore be strong. Because if you're going to be weak, you too will be as evil as them. This is a fact. Germans became Nazis. They were evil because they didn't stand up against it. You have to stand up against evil or you become evil. So now is the time to say, either I am a Jew, I'm a person that supports life, or I am an evil terrorist. I want to murder people. There's only two options. There's no three. And if you don't make that choice now, trust me, that's who you are, and you need to change right now. So it's important to recognize the truth and become on the side of the Jewish people.